Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Steve again with Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com. Coming back to you with another video while I am driving home from the thrift store. And don't worry, hands-free, not driving with something in my hand. But, excuse me, at any rate, I want to talk about a viewer question that I received recently. And the question was, Steve, how often do you go to the thrift store or wherever you go to find stuff? How often do you leave without getting anything? How often do you leave empty-handed? And, well, first off, I just want to say thank you for the question. I appreciate that. And I'll tell you right now, I actually start from the beginning. When I first got started, excuse me, when I was new, when I didn't really have a lot of knowledge, I mean, I'd say maybe 50% of the time I would leave empty-handed just because I was only going after certain items. I was going after the Ralph Lauren polos, or I was going after the Pendletons, or maybe the Burberry stuff. The stuff that was obvious, the stuff that any person who studies up for a little bit in reselling would have gone after. So at first, when I first got started, I mean, half the time I would leave empty-handed, and I was thinking to myself, wow, this is a waste of time. I mean, this isn't worth my time. Half the time I'm not finding stuff. I don't think I'm going to do this for the long term, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I stuck with it, and the more I persisted, the more I learned, the more I scanned and completed listings, the more I watched YouTube videos, the more I just researched and got experience, the more items and the more of a knowledge base that I accumulated. So every time I'd go into the thrift store, as the days progressed, I'd have a little more knowledge, I'd find a little more items, or a few more items, and the times that I would leave the thrift store empty-handed started to decrease. So to answer the question in terms of today, after being a reseller for over a year now, I'd say that I leave the thrift store empty-handed less than 10% of the time. I mean, of course, there's times where, you know, maybe I'm sick or I'm not really feeling that good, or the energy levels are down, or I'm just not that motivated, and I go in and, you know, and I go in and out within 5 minutes just looking for the hot items, and I come empty-handed. But if I really am trying, if I'm looking, if I'm going through the clothing racks, if I'm going through all the ties and the jeans and the jackets, and then heading over to see the books and the media and the sports equipment and furniture, all that stuff, you know, I'm not going to leave empty-handed if I'm really going at it, and I'm going to find an item. I'll tell you that right now. And the same should apply for you. I mean, there's so many items, so many brands, so many styles. There's just so many things out there. There's always something that's underpriced or undervalued that you can make some money on if you have the knowledge and with your experience, of course. So hopefully that answered your question. I'd be curious, how often do you folks go into the thrift store, or maybe you go to an auction or a estate sale or a yard sale? Whatever you do to get stuff, how often do you go to these places and leave empty-handed? And also let me know how long you've been doing it for, just to kind of measure it up. So again, thanks. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. And if you guys want to stay up to date with what I'm selling and some exclusive Facebook videos and stuff of that nature, head over to my Facebook over at Rake and Profit. And thanks again. Take care.